What up, YouTube world? It's your boy Jerome, and I'm back today with the review for the Real Housewives of Dallas. This is season 3, episode number 10, I believe, and it's titled, Are You Saying I'm an Alcoholic? So without further ado, let's get the video started. Alright, so this episode is opening up with LeAnn and Rich. They are out having lunch and all that kind of stuff, and they're discussing wedding planning. And, you know, when I look at Rich, I don't think I know men are not into planning weddings like the women are. But to me, it just seems like Rich is so disinterested, detached, and all that kind of stuff. That's just the vibe that I get when I look at Rich when it comes to him and LeAnn planning this wedding and all that kind of stuff. Because, you know, when she was asking him about the wedding dress and all that kind of stuff, she was like, what kind of ideas do you have? He really didn't have very many ideas about the wedding dress. But, you know, he talked about some stuff that he would like to see. I think he said, you know, some legs, some boobs, and no underwear up under the dress. And, you know, she's telling Rich how she's going wedding dress shopping with Stephanie and how she would love to invite D'Andra, but, you know, she's not going to do that. And, you know, Rich wants to know, well, why you're not going to invite D'Andra. And so she basically tells Rich that, you know, about the conversation that she's had previously with D'Andra about them leading separate lives and all that kind of stuff. And Rich gets upset and like, what the hell does that mean? Like, do I have a wife in another country that I have to go and see and all that kind of stuff? And then, you know, she brings up the whole friendship between Brandi and D'Andra and all that kind of stuff. And, you know, talking about how she doesn't trust her and all that kind of stuff because, you know, she says she drinks with Brandi and then she talks to her because she's talking about at the No Tie event. She said Brandi brought up stuff that she knows that D'Andra told Brandi and all that kind of stuff. And, you know, LeAnn basically says that when it comes down to D'Andra, she doesn't want to lose her friendship with her. But I guess what it is she doesn't want D'Andra to tell Brandi so much stuff about her and all that kind of stuff, which I understand it. If it's somebody that you don't really rock with, you're not really cool with and all that kind of stuff, I can absolutely 100% understand you not wanting to know your business. But it's completely different when it comes down to these group of girls because, number one, you guys are filming a reality show. So the rules of friendship kind of go out the window with a reality show just a little bit. Alright, and then we have D'Andra. She is having a meeting with her mother and all that kind of stuff. She's trying to get some advice about a product. And, you know, her mom says that, much like last year, that product that D'Andra was working on, she won't have it finished and ready when she expects to have it ready. And, you know, she asked her mom, will she help her? And she says yes. I guess when it comes down to her mom leaving the company and all kind of stepping down and letting D'Andra run the company. But at this point, her mom still hasn't signed anything, so it's not much that she can really say at this point. So then D'Andra's talking about this cooking class that her mom wants her to go to, and she's invited LeAnn and all that kind of stuff. But D'Andra's like, I don't know if LeAnn is going to come because LeAnn and I had it out. And then, you know, she tells LeAnn, her mom about the whole conversation that she told LeAnn that her and Rich lead separate lives and all that kind of stuff. And her mom was like, well, you know, it's been like that since I've known her and all that kind of stuff. And basically she tells her mom all the things that LeAnn has said about the wedding. How, you know, at first she said she was fearful that it was, you know, she would get a divorce. Then she's talking about how the wedding's going to be in November. But D'Andra is still not sure that this wedding is going to happen, period, point blank. And, you know, I don't know how I feel. I mean, it does sound like there are a bit of inconsistencies when it comes down to what LeAnn says. But, you know, I can only hope the best for LeAnn and Rich. But, you know, I can see both sides. I can see LeAnn's side and I can see D'Andra's side at the same time. I'm your best friend and, you know, I want to plan this wedding with you, but you're not telling me, you're not giving me much to go on and all that kind of stuff. So I do get it and all that kind of stuff. And then, you know, her mama said, you know, well, maybe LeAnn just doesn't want to tell you guys everything that's going on. And I absolutely agree with Mama D with that. Like, I definitely agree with that. And then her mama basically tells her, you know, let LeAnn deal with her relationship and you stay out of it. Love your friend, but stay out of her relationship. And I definitely agree with that advice as well. All right, and then we got Stephanie. You know, she has her sister here with her. And, they're trying to give Biscuit a bath, and Biscuit is like, hell to the no, y'all not gonna give me a bath. So then they go outside and they start talking, and, you know, Stephanie tells her sister Tiffany that, you know, Travis is going off to Harvard for 6 weeks, I believe it is, and how she's just afraid to be on her own at this point and all that kind of stuff. And there's a big difference between Stephanie and her sister. So Stephanie's sister's a teacher and all that kind of stuff. And Stephanie's like she got bags. They cost more than her sister's mortgage and all that kind of stuff. And I guess Stephanie's trying to look at herself in the mirror and be like, my sister has it all together, but here I am. I can't even be by myself with my kids for a few days and stuff like that. And I definitely feel bad for Stephanie because, I really do feel bad for in that sense. And then, she says like I said, she says she feels nervous to be alone and all that kind of stuff because of the way her dad raised her and all that kind of stuff. How he treated her like a princess and all that kind of stuff. Like when she was in college and all that kind of stuff, when her toilet was clogged or something like that, that her dad, immediately hopped up and came all the way to where she was at just to, take care of her toilet and all that kind of stuff. So I feel bad for her because her dad, raised her to be this way. So now that she has her husband, she's still the same way with her husband. Whereas her sister's like, dad is just right down the street from me. So if I need him, he's right there. But Stephanie doesn't have that luxury because her family's all the way up there in Oklahoma and she's down here in Dallas, which is not well, it depends on what part of Oklahoma they're in. But Oklahoma to Dallas, it's not a big drive, but it is a good drive. All right, so then we move over to Brandi. Brandi and Brian and Baby Bruin are out for lunch or dinner. I don't know which one they were out for. And, Brandi is happy that she hired a nanny and all that kind of stuff. And Brian was like, basically what took her so long to hire the nanny. But Brandi's like she had mommy guilt and all that kind of stuff. And, how she feels like now their family is complete and all that kind of stuff. So basically what it is between she and Brian is she wants for them to have a date night and all that kind of stuff with each other at least once a week, and then have time with the girls. And she's still upset about the comment that LeAnn made last week about and I'm actually get to that comment a little bit later into the episode, so I'm gonna hold off on that for now. All right, and then lastly we got Carrie, who is having her opening for her laser clinic and all that kind of stuff. So you got all the girls there. You got LeAnn, you got Brandi, you got D'Andra, you got Stephanie, you got Cameron here. Carrie's husband Mark is there. So when Mark sees LeAnn, he actually open arm embraced LeAnn, and I'm like, wow, that was a shock, because for the last 2 seasons, Carrie and Mark and LeAnn have not saw eye to eye with each other, and it's been basically because of the whole LeAnn with the gay rumors about Mark and all that kind of stuff. So it was good to see them because last year's reunion was horrible when LeAnn walked off because, Andy was questioning about her about what the stuff that she said and all that kind of stuff. So, like I said, all the girls are there, and then, you got LeAnn and D'Andra talking, and D'Andra mentions, her mom invited LeAnn to the cooking event and all that kind of stuff, and the cooking class, and she says that she'll go and all that kind of stuff. And then, LeAnn pulls D'Andra to the side and basically tells D'Andra how it took her for a loop, the stuff that D'Andra was saying about, her and Rich leading separate lives and all that kind of stuff. And how LeAnn would not do that to D'Andra in her marriage and all that kind of stuff. And, I've said it on Twitter and I'll say it on my video. A part of me believes that LeAnn is a little bit jealous of D'Andra and Brandi's friendship. She wants to, put it off that every time that Brandi and D'Andra go out, they drink and all that kind of stuff. And D'Andra's like, I do drink when I go out. I may have a glass of wine or a bottle of wine, whatever. But I don't drink and go back to work. I don't do that. When I drink, I don't have to go back to work and all that kind of stuff. And D'Andra's like, but your issues with Brandi are separate from anything with me. And she says yes. But when it comes down to Brandi, I don't want you to sit here and tell Brandi everything that's going on with me because Brandi and I are just not that cool, which she understood and all that kind of stuff. So then we move back over to the other girls. You got Cameron. She's asking about what happened at the no tie event when they all came back down the stairs and saw LeAnn and Brandi talking. So Brandi tells her how she told LeAnn that she felt like she was jealous of D'Andra and all that kind of stuff. And then she says that she's talking about how LeAnn said that, how would you like it if I, something about, I forgot what Brandi said, but it was basically, if I were to say that you and your husband got this baby to fix your marriage and all that kind of stuff. And all the girls are shocked, like she said that, and Brandi's like, yes. And, So then you got LeAnn talking to Deandra. She says that it scares her being around Brandi, bringing in Brandi to that event, and Brandi was visibly drunk and all that kind of stuff. And LeAnn is like, Brandi was completely drunk, but you were a little bit better than her and all that kind of stuff. And basically that wasn't an event that she would have invited Brandi to. Period. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, like, what does that mean? That's not an event that you would have invited her to. But neither here nor there. And once again, they're still talking about drinking and all that kind of stuff. And then Deandra does get offended because she's like, wait a minute, are you saying I'm an alcoholic and all that kind of stuff? And LeAnn really didn't answer that question, but Deandra's like, you know what, I'm very calculated when I come to drinking and all that kind of stuff. And that my dad committed suicide because he was an alcoholic. He took a gun and shot himself in the head and all that kind of stuff. So she was completely upset. And she dismissed herself from LeAnn because some of the other girls came in to check on her, and she just dismissed herself. So then that left Cameron with LeAnn. So Cameron is telling LeAnn what Brandi said, and LeAnn kind of bold-faced as lie said, I said to her, how would you like it if I said, whatever she said. Because what LeAnn actually said, and Bravo actually played it, is she said, how would you feel if I was questioning you about you right now about Brian? And was your baby just a way to save your marriage? Like, that's really a low blow to say that kind of stuff. Like, and Bravo did play that. So, LeAnn was kind of lying to Cameron and all that kind of stuff. Because Cameron was like, girl, that's what you said and all that kind of stuff. I'm like, that is not exactly what she said. But if that's what you want to say it and all that kind of stuff. And then, LeAnn says that Brandi needs to, so they actually, let's move back over. So, Deandra, she's in the room with Brandi, Stephanie, and their friend Joyce, and she's telling them about what happened between her and LeAnn and all that kind of stuff. So then all the girls get back together, and LeAnn is like, Brandi, you and I need to sit down and talk and all that kind of stuff. And then she tries to justify what was said and all that kind of stuff. And Brandi says there's a difference between what I said versus what you said. What I said was my opinion, and what you said was something completely different and all that kind of stuff, and it was hurtful. And then, they're still talking and all that kind of stuff. And Carrie's like, what? We're not doing that here, because LeAnn said I'm not going to smash a glass. And Carrie's like, good, because this is not the place to do that at. So then, all the girls leave. So you got Brandi and did they just fuck up my cable? Are you serious? What the fuck? Sorry, y'all. Somebody, I guess somebody must be moving upstairs from my apartment, and people are up there working, and my TV just. Yep, my shit just froze on me. So they are in the car, Stephanie and Brandi, and Brandi just basically tells Stephanie that she doesn't feel like LeAnn has changed at all, and that she feels like LeAnn is pretending to be her friend and all that kind of stuff. And I actually really did feel bad for Stephanie, because Stephanie was like, well, what does that mean to me? Like, is it a bad thing to be my friend and all that kind of stuff? But that was the episode. Like the video, leave your comments and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys later on I will see you later. But actually the review for Greenleaf is up next.